Good morning. Committee on Parole is called back to order. The time is 9:50. Our next case is Mr. Rodney Brown. Mr. Brown, would you please introduce yourself and give us your DOC number?
My name is Rodney Brown, DOC 324975.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Let me explain our process to you. First, I'm going to read some information into the record. Then the board is going to conduct a parole interview with you. At the appropriate time, we will allow those persons who've indicated they wish to have input to say their piece. Currently, today on your behalf is your aunt, Miss Diane Smith, and your mother, Miss Carolyn Brown. At the end, you'll be allowed to make a brief statement before the board votes. Do you understand our process and procedure?
Yes, sir.
This is the matter of Rodney D. Brown, DOC number 3324975. Mr. Brown is date of birth is August the 21st of 1969. He's classified as a fourth felony offender. He has a parole eligibility date of August the 1st of 2021. Full-term date of January the 10th of 2031. He does not earn good time. He is serving a 30-year sentence on aggravated battery and first-degree robbery after having been adjudicated a habitual offender. Mr. Brown, is that information accurate?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Brown, your case has been assigned to Ms. Pearl Wise. Ms. Wise will begin our interview process. Would you please answer any questions she might have?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How's it going?
A little nervous.
All right, all right. How long you been in jail this time?
23 years, ma'am.
23 years. Is this the longest you ever been in jail on charge?
Yes, ma'am.
How old are you today?
53.
53. I saw you got your high set in April 2019. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
That was a hard earn, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. In each, what was interesting to me in both of your crimes that you're currently doing time for, you turned yourself in each
Yes,
time.
ma'am.
You
Yes,
said, I'm the
ma'am.
one, I did it. Tell me about that.
Well, on the robbery, it really was a purse snatching. And it was I did what I did because I was on drugs, alcohol, and you know, I just seen the opportunity and I took it.
Mhm.
The honest, that's God honest truth, you know.
So your drugs, you're saying it was alcohol? That's what you on the influence of, alcohol?
I was, yes, ma'am.
Nothing else?
No, ma'am.
That's your drug of choice. And right now, on the 2001 charge, you said you was on cocaine. When you turned yourself in, you said, I did that because I was on cocaine.
Yes, ma'am. I just said, excuse me, you probably didn't hear, but I said drugs and alcohol.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, okay. So it's your drugs were cocaine and alcohol.
Yes, ma'am.
And what have you taken for treatment since you've been down these 23 years?
Well, I completed all the self-help groups. I got the GED.
So which one had the most impact on you? Which one you've taken that you can say that that really helped you?
Thank you for a change.
You got Thank You for a Change, you got victim awareness, you got Partners in Parenting. You have a lot of good programs. Which ones help you stay clean and sober?
Thank you for a change, man.
Okay, tell me what you learned. Tell me about 3 things you learned.
Well,
That you didn't already know.
I learned that my best thinking was my worst thinking. I learned that sometimes, you know, when you think you're doing right, you really don't. You know, and I just think I feel like I just think I feel like I'm a better person now, you know. From this experience being locked up, being away for so long.
So how are you going to stay away from drugs and alcohol?
change my people, places, and things, you know. Be more active with my family. I got a son that really don't love me. Just stay active on some positive stuff. You know, I done grow since I've been locked up. You know, when I got locked up, I was really I wasn't a youngster, but I was young in mind, you know.
Say it. Well said, young in mind. Well said. Now, looking at your write-ups, your last two write-ups in 21 and 20 was for fighting. Tell me something about those fights. What went down?
Well, one of them, the first one really wasn't a fight, it was an argument. And the
You said
second
the first one. Which one is the first one? The 21 or the 2020? Which one?
the 2021.
Okay. It was a verbal.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And the second one was over a football game.
It was over a football game.
Yes, ma'am. Silly, you know. It was just some words were said, and the argument went bad.
Okay. Yeah, that was getting ready for Super Bowl, when playoff game sounds like.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I was just wondering because you've had all these, you know, but you had the programs after those fights. I was just trying to figure out how you live life, how you solve situations, because that's gonna happen. You don't have this.
Like I say, I learned how to think better, and I know how to walk away from negative stuff now. You know, I know how to bag up. Like think before I react.
All right. One of your victims is unopposed to your other release, and the other victim, probation parole, was not able to contact because one of these, fights happened in jail. That was a aggravated battery that happened in jail. That you admitted you did it. But that's concerning me. Your violent history. That's what's concerning me. And it's important that you learn how to, like you said, back up.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I feel like me myself, I done changed from all that violence, because I done got older. And these time behind bars, and I done got wise, and like I said, I know how to think better.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I give that. Yeah, 33 write-ups in 23 years. Then the last one in 21. You had a good work evaluation. Tell us what you do every day.
I'm a cell block auditor. I work in the cell block.
Okay. How long you been doing that?
Not too long, probably about 2 months.
Oh, okay. You just got this job. Are you a trustee?
No, ma'am. But I live on the trustee side though.
Okay. So you're working your way over there.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any children?
Yes, I have one son.
How old is he?
30.
What kind of relationship do you have with him?
Not so good.
Yeah, you did mention that before. I forgot you did mention that. And on your plans, you indicated you're going to look for employment when you get out, and you're going to live with your mother if you're successful. So, what kind of jobs would you be looking for?
Graduated culinary, and when I was in another facility, and I want to pursue a career in culinary arts,
Okay.
cooking.
Okay. All right. I mean, that's all I have. And Warren, what can you tell us?
Ms. Wise, y'all covered pretty much everything. Rodney's been here since 2016. He's been here almost 7 years, and he's only had 4 of those 33 write-ups came from David Wade. All the other write-ups he had was prior to him coming to this institution. He has completed his high school equivalency. He got his high school high fit, as you mentioned, he completed anger management, substance abuse, and several other programs. He is a hard worker, got a good evaluation, trying forward for his work. So I can't say anything but positive things about Rodney. He's done well since he's been at this institution since 2017.
Thank you, Warden. That's all I have.
Jackson?
I don't have it. Well, I'll tell you what I'm concerned about, Mr. Brown. You had two write-ups, 1 in 20 for fighting, 1 in 21 for fighting. Your crimes were crimes of violence. How can I be sure that you've learned how to control your anger? Because I'm not convinced that you are.
Well, on the streets, ma'am, I was under influence.
Well, but no. You weren't on the street on February 23rd of 20, and you weren't on the street on January 12th of 21, when you got those write-ups.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes, ma'am.
I don't, I mean, so nothing has changed. You're still, reacting, not knowing how to control your temper. You said one of the fights was basically over nothing, a football game. And so I have to have some level of comfort that hot-headed Mr. Brown's not gonna get out and do the same thing he's done to get him here to begin with.
Well, ma'am, I didn't change. I'm not the same person that.
Well, you say that, but why would I believe that? Those are just words. Like I said, in 20 and 21, after you had been in prison for over 20 years, you're still fighting. You're still engaging in acts of violence and anger, even after 20 years in prison. If for no other reason, I would think you wouldn't want to get right up so that you could get out of prison one day, but that wasn't enough to keep you from reacting and engaging in fights.
I haven't had a fight since the last fights, ma'am. I took all the class, I took the anger management class, and I learned how to control my anger. And
Tell me what you learned.
like I said, I learned how to walk away from problems and think before I react to stuff,
But when your temper flares up, it flares up. You start getting hot and your ears start burning. You're all riled up inside.
I learned how to calm down. I learned how to step back and breathe and control my anger, man.
Or what the other person is still, carrying on.
I see him every day, man. We friends now. That it was a fight that should never happen.
But it did. That's what I'm saying. But it did. I don't know, Mr. Brown, but I'll listen to what everybody has to say. But right now, I'm not sure.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. Let's hear from your supporters. Your aunt, Ms. Diane Smith. Ms. Smith, are you there? Thank you. Ms. Diane Smith?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Smith, you are Mr. Brown's aunt.
Yes, sir.
Would you go ahead and please introduce yourself and tell us what you'd like us to know about Mr. Brown?
Yes. My name is Diane Smith. I'm Rodney's aunt. We visit Rodney ever since he's been in prison when we had a chance to visit him. And I've seen a total change in Rodney in the last few years. He tell me about the classes that he take. We talk about God and turning away from anger. And I've seen a total change when I come visit him. He tells me, Amy, I'm doing good, you know. I've learned to leave all this stuff alone. He said, I try to talk to the guys and let them know it's just gonna keep them there longer. You know, he just have a positive thought right now on what he wanna do, and he really wanna get out and try to make it with his son and get a job and be a productive citizen.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. We appreciate your comments. Is Ms. Carolyn Brown there with you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Ms. Brown, you are Mr. Rodney Brown's mother. What would you like us to know?
I'd like you all to know that I miss him very, very much. And I'm really, really taking him to come home because right now my health is not good. And I want him to get real close, acquainted back the way with his son, the way he was at first. They have a lot of catching up to do, but they're gonna be all right. And when I visit him, he has changed a lot. He's talked about God a lot, and he was in church before all of this happened. And I'm just ready for him to come home. I miss him, and the family is waiting on him to come home. And I think he's ready to get back out in the public. He's taking all his courses that he's supposed to take, and he's ready and willing, and he's especially ready to get a job and to get back in church and around his family.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. We appreciate your comments.
You're welcome.
Mr. Rodney Brown, is there anything you'd like to say to the board before we vote?
Just so, if I'm given the opportunity, man, I can, prove and show that I'm a changed person, and I know how to control my attitude and my anger. And I just want another opportunity just to be with my family and get to know my son again.
Mr. Marabella, Ms. Jackson, can I say one other thing before y'all
Sure,
vote?
certainly, yes. Yes.
I just want to point out that Offender Brown is, he's been over almost 2.5 years without a write-up. And he has one of the, probably one of the toughest jobs at the institution as far as being verbally assaulted and he's working as a cell block orderly around a lot of people that's in preventive segregation that hadn't learned how to behave just yet, and they try him every day back there, Miss Jackson. And that's one of the reasons that Colonel Nail and Warden Kimball put him in that position, was because his temperament has gotten so much better, and he really has shown that he's very restrained in his reactions now, where in the past he may not have been. So, and he does well. He does well with those confrontational situations, working as a cell block orderly. And I'm proud of the fact that he hadn't had issues.
Yes.
So that's all I had. I wanted to add that to the conversation.
That's very important. Thank you very much. We appreciate your comments.
So you weren't talking to me, you just talking to them too?
No, I was talking to you too, and why, but I knew you was listening already. I had to get their attention. I knew I had your attention already, and that's why.
All right, panel ready to vote?
Yes.
Ms. Wise?
Mr. Brown, I voted for you last time. I was hopeful for you last time, and I'm glad to see when we came, at this hearing, you hadn't had any write-up. You stayed the course. As a matter of fact, what just indicated you got more responsibility since the last hearing. And I was glad to see the family support. They're rooting for you. You got reasons now, and you're 53. That does change your 50s. That does change things. I'm gonna vote for you again, but this time I'm gonna recommend that you complete the Steve Hall treatment program, the long term. Sit on the front row, really take all that in. Once you complete that, when you get out. And I'm just one vote. You follow their recommendation, they'll become a condition of your supervision. How many AA meetings you have to attend, and they have a lot of programs that you really get a chance to open up and examine yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
And get what you need so that you can be okay. And then I want probation grant them drug screens and over the whole period of supervision. And that's because of the warden comments, the family support, and the good programs that you have. But I'm just one vote, so best wishes to you, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Wise. Ms. Jackson?
All right, Ms. Brown, the warden pulled you out of the fire. As far as I'm concerned, I appreciate his comments. So my vote likewise would be granted upon completion of Steve Hoyle program and the same conditions as Ms. Wise.
Mr. Brown, you have 2 votes to grant your parole conditionally upon your enrolling and completing the Steve Hall program. I concur with both the comments of my colleagues. My vote likewise would be to grant conditionally upon your completion of the Steve Hall program. Upon completion, you'll be released to follow all of the recommendations of Steve Hoyle, and also that you'll be your parole officer will randomly drug screen you. So good luck to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank all of you.
Is that all?